Well, if we're doing the same thing, we're analyzing the information about these images to see if it fits into the narrative we know so far. We know what happened. Let me bring in the big map here. We know the plane took off. We knew that it flew for about an hour, and then it vanished utterly about here. We know now that the Chinese say these pictures came from right over here. So the distance between where the plane disappeared and where the Chinese say they got this picture, about 140, 141 miles. So some distance between the two. This is not a terrible area in which to search for wreckage, about 200 feet deep here. There are a lot of currents to deal with if you go about that grim job. You see how we have a little circle there? That's where the Chinese say they took these pictures. And if you look very closely at these images of currents there are enough pushing around that depending on when they took the pictures, it could have pushed wreckage on the surface quite some distance, not just water currents, but air currents as well. But let's look at the image itself, because that's really the challenge here. These are not very good images, as Renee noted a short while ago. The Chinese must have better pictures to work with, because in terms of satellite pictures, this is pretty low quality when you consider the size of the objects. We've been talking since they were reported, Wolf, that the smallest one of these is roughly 40 to 60 feet, 40 by 60 feet in size. The largest between 70 on one side, 80 on the other. So as a ballpark, let's say that that's about half the size of a basketball court. Can you get something like that out of a plane like the 777? Let's talk about the dimensions on the 777, because this is an immense aircraft, and it's important to bear that in mind. If you were to start on that wing over there, if you stood on the wing and you could walk right through the middle of the plane to the other wing, when you stepped out on the other side, you would have covered about 36 feet. That gives you an idea of how big it is. If you started on a wingtip, like this one right here, and you walked all the way to the other wingtip over there, 212 feet. So yes, Wolf, you could get pieces that big out of an airplane this large, and that is another reason why they would be looking at this evidence so closely and wondering if this leads to the very grim business of going underwater and salvaging what's left of it. Wolf?